What's going on, guys? Rye Flawless here, and today I want to talk about the kind of controversy with Pokemon Company reportedly saying that Nuzlocks are considered as bad as hacking and ROM hacks in Pokemon games. So without further ado, let's talk about what's new in the world of Pokemon. Alright, this story comes from the podcast of Kit and Krista, who are former Nintendo employees. They were the ones who did the Nintendo Minute program on the official Nintendo YouTube channel. And they had this idea that they were going to do a Nuzlocke run on Nintendo Minute. So they want to run it past Pokemon Company to get the approval to do that. So they essentially asked, hey, we would like to do this Nuzlocke run. What do you think? And essentially Pokemon Company said, here's what we think. We consider this to be on the same level as using hacking or ROM hacks. Let's briefly talk about what a Nuzlocke is. A Nuzlocke is a set of rules a player gives himself to make a Pokemon game more challenging. The most predominant one is a permadeath system where you release the Pokemon that fainted after it faints, removing it from the game entirely for the rest of your run. Now, this is done without hacking. This is done without any external sources, adding a code, modding the game in any way at all. This is just done by playing it with this permadeath system or other rules that you put in place to make the game more challenging. At first glance, or hearing this initially, it's quite shocking to hear that Pokemon Company would compare just a way of playing the game that you own, purchased legally, the way you want to play it, to ROM hacks or hacking or cheating in the game. Because that doesn't seem to be a fair assessment of a Nuzlocke, and probably isn't the language that should have been used when turning down Kit and Krista doing this Nuzlocke run on Nintendo Minute. At the end of the day, it's Pokemon Company's decision whether they did this Nintendo Minute or not. But they probably could have found a better way to turn this down. To further the story, Joe Merrick, the founder of Cerebi or Celebi.net, got a statement from Pokemon Company, and Pokemon Company said, "We do not have an issue with fans or creators playing the game with Nuzlocke rules." This seems a bit odd because it definitely seems like Pokemon Company is going back on their statements a little bit or contradicting themselves in what they're saying. But let's kind of look at why Nuzlocke could be compared to hacking or ROM hacks, and how Pokemon Company may not necessarily consider the normal application of Nuzlocke rules to licensed games as a problem. So how can ROM hacks and hacking be associated with Nuzlocke? I mean, it's just that. It's the association that might be the issue here. There's a lot of content creators that play Nuzlocke playthroughs of ROM hacks. And there's even players that play licensed versions of the game with hacks put in there to randomize Pokemon you run into and things like that. So those are applications of hacking and ROM hacks where Nuzlocke is applied. So you can see where there's kind of that gray area association, whereas Nuzlocks in general are a very innocent thing, and especially if you own your copy of the game and you're playing a licensed version of Pokemon and you're just playing the game the way you want to, there shouldn't be any issues with that. But there is a negative connection because we do know that Pokemon Company doesn't particularly care for ROM hacks. And so there is that association there with ROM hacks and Nuzlockes. But with that being said, Pokemon Company has worked with content creators who make content like this. To mention one, Shady Penguin, who I've been a fan of for a long time. He's a very big Pokemon content creator. In 2016, he was actually a VGC Pokemon Championship caster. So, Pokemon Company is accepting of this type of content. It is kind of in that legal gray area, or just a gray area where maybe Pokemon Company doesn't agree with all of it, but they don't take down content for the most part for doing this. Shady Penguin has tons of content that's out there. There's a lot of other creators. I have ROM hack content on my channel, and it's something that is overlooked by Pokemon Company and just kind of accepted. Whether they like it or not, they do accept its existence. But I can see the negative association that they would have. Now let's disregard the hacking ROM hack aspect of this. I know that that's the comparative term that they used and the reason why this controversy even exists. But what are other reasons that Pokemon Company wouldn't want Kit and Krista to do a Nuzlocke run of a Pokemon game on Nintendo Minute at that official capacity? Well, I think that's kind of a simple thing, and why I think this was never going to happen. I think this is just a communication problem that the Pokemon Company had, is the story of Pokemon. I think doing a Nuzlocke that adds permadeath to Pokemon really contradicts the story aspects of Pokemon, where it's really supposed to be love and friendship between the Pokemon. A run where you're letting the Pokemon die, over and over. I mean, yes, the goal is not for them to die, but it really does make it a more morbid take on the games, which does contradict the message of the game in general, and why I think Pokemon Company would never let a Nuzlocke happen at that official capacity. Whether they appreciate fans playing the game their own way or not, I think almost has nothing to do with the fact that Nuzlocke will likely never happen on an official Pokemon platform or Nintendo platform like YouTube or Twitch. Alright guys, let me know what you think about this whole thing in the comments below, and thank you guys so much for watching. You're all flawless, and I'll see you next time. Bye.